from the mouth.
And here he is. There he is, Card.
And the applause going up, the greeting, the waving,
big
the
smiles. How amazing.
How amazing.
A historic moment today. The world has a new pope, and for the first time ever, he is an American. Pope Leo XIV addressed crowds in St. Peter's Square just about an hour and a half ago. Hi everyone, thank you so much for joining us here on KREM 2 News at noon. I'm Laura Papetti. So let's get right to it and take a live look. This is at Vatican City. We're looking live right now where it's just after 9 o'clock at night. Oh boy, there was so much excitement there as crowds now certainly diminished. Some folks still lingering after meeting the new pope for the first time just a short time ago. Here's a little bit about the new pope. He is a U.S. Cardinal Robert Prevost, a native of Chicago, the very first pope ever to come from the United States. So let's take you back now to the moment that the world found out that a new pope had been elected. And you can hear the roar of the crowd as white smoke poured from the chimney top of the Sistine Chapel. The white smoke, of course, signaling that the cardinals had elected a new pope on just day 2 of the conclave. Tina Kraus is at the Vatican with a look at all the excitement.
The suspense is over. White smoke billowed out of the chimney atop the Sistine Chapel, signaling there is a new pope. The crowd in St. Peter's Square erupted in excitement. For the first time, an American has been chosen. The Cardinals elected Chicago native Cardinal Robert Prevost. He holds dual citizenship with Peru and speaks Spanish. He's seen overall as a centrist on some key social issues. He's viewed as progressive. He has long embraced marginalized groups, a lot like the late Pope Francis, who championed migrants and the poor.
The church has a father again, and that gives me great joy.
The papal name he chose, Leo XIV. This was the largest conclave ever, with 133 cardinals participating from 70 countries, the vast majority appointed by Pope Francis. Ahead of the conclave, a CBS News poll found a majority of U.S. Catholics wanted the next pontiff to continue the teachings of Pope Francis, but more than a third hoped for someone more conservative, while 21% wanted someone more progressive. Tina Kraus, CBS News, the Vatican.
So a lot to this, and our coverage of the new pope continues right now on KREM 2+, where you can watch more live coverage happening regarding the election of a new pope. Download KREM 2+ for free and watch on your TV. All right, so much happening in the world right now. We're going to take just a pause on the day's news and turn our attention now to the weather. Meteorologist Thomas Patrick, he's in the KREM 2 Outdoor Weather Center. Thomas, it feels a little bit cooler today, but so much sunshine, it's beautiful.
Yeah, it is still beautiful. Definitely a 10 out of 10 kind of day. But yes, it is a pinch cooler compared to yesterday. And that is because we had a cold front pass through the area about 12 hours ago. At the moment, it's over central Montana, really thinning out. That's why I actually indicated more with the dashed dissipating line here. But you still see all clear conditions for the Pacific Northwest. But of course, cold fronts make us colder more often than not, right? So our temperatures are down by a handful of degrees, probably going to be about 8 to 10 degrees cooler today compared to yesterday, with the expected high at about 67 for this afternoon compared to 75, which is where it was yesterday. But today's kind of that one day off before we warm things right back up for this Friday and Saturday, but not quite all the way into Mother's Day itself. Look at the temperature difference over the weekend. 78 on Saturday, then just back to 65 on Mother's Day. Temperature-wise, that's still not bad, but it's these rain chances that I'll be watching quite closely. So coming up, I'm going to detail when that rain will be most likely on Mother's Day, but it does mark the beginning of what will be a cooler weather pattern for the inland Northwest at the second half of the 7-day forecast, of which I'll be showing you and sharing with you in just a few minutes.
All right, my friend, thank you. We do continue with more breaking news coming in at the noon hour. Within the past hour, law enforcement in Spokane announcing major drug arrests. The acting U.S. attorney said 21 people have been arrested all across eastern Washington and are now facing charges of armed drug trafficking. They mentioned much of the drugs were being sold on Division Street and near the House of Charity. The U.S. attorney characterized that arrest as repeat offenders, including one person accused of using their 12-year-old child to sell drugs and another whose child overdosed on the parent's supply. Investigators said the operation seized 200,000 potentially deadly doses of fentanyl.
It is a public safety emergency, and today's charges represent a significant step in addressing that emergency. To those involved in significant drug trafficking in eastern Washington, we will continue to dismantle your operations. We will take back our cities, our communities, and our neighborhoods.
Law enforcement also announcing they are also filing a civil complaint against an apartment complex near North Central High School. Investigators telling us that the property was being used for drug distribution and also to distribute firearms as well. And we do have some new information here coming in at the noon hour. Fire investigators now believe a house fire on Spokane South Hill started in a breezeway between the garage and house. One person was hurt in the fire and a dog was killed. KREM 2 News was on the scene this morning on Havana Street near South 40th. Brandon T. Jones spoke with firefighters and with neighbors, and he has an update for us here at noon.
Yeah, well, there's just one truck that remains on the scene of this early morning fire. You can see some of those firefighters as well accompanying that, and another truck just pulled up. But mainly what's happening right now is that investigation, that cleanup, mop-up type of process. Earlier this morning, as we pan towards the home that has now been destroyed because of that fire, flames were just shooting through the roof. We were here on scene. Our photographer, Nathan, he saw those moments where those flames were bursting through the ceiling, and at this particular point we don't know the exact cause, but what we do know is that one dog was killed because of the fire, and then we also know that one man was transported to Sacred Heart because of inhaling the smoke that was inside of the home. We don't have a current update on the status of that individual, but all morning long we've been speaking with firefighters, we've been speaking with neighbors about just those early morning moments of this fire.
And then we saw a glow out of our bedroom window, and our houses are back to back, and it's pretty frightening. At 2:45 in the morning, and she called 911, and when you're dead asleep, you know, when you're out cold, and the dog starts barking, and then you start hearing explosions, you know, like boom, 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 you wonder what the heck is going on.
So again, what we know is that one dog was killed in this fire. A man was transported to the hospital in serious condition. Once we get any updates on the status of that person, we'll keep you updated. And one more tidbit before we send things back to the studio is that we know that man's wife was also inside of the home once those flames started to burst out. She was able to safely escape through a window downstairs. And again, once we know any other details, we'll keep you posted across all KREM 2 platforms. For now, reporting on the South Hill of Spokane, Brandon T. Jones, KREM 2 News.